Now it is my honor to present the recipient of the 5th Annual Bascom Hill Society Scholarship. The Bascom Hill Society Scholarship was established to help a promising junior or senior student complete his or her studies. The scholarship, one of the largest currently offered, provides tuition, room and board, and books. Now here are the criteria to get this. You must demonstrate strong academic and leadership qualities, financial need, and active involvement in service to others. The recipient of the 2010 Bascom Hill Society Scholarship is Lauren Nicole Schmidt, who will be with us in just a minute after I tell you just a little about her. Lauren, who is known to her family and friends as Nikki, is here tonight with her parents, Gary and Crystal Schmidt, and her brother, Kai McCreary. We are also happy to have one of the people who recommended Nikki for this scholarship, Captain Michael Newton of the UW-Madison Police Department. Would you all please stand? They're down here. Nikki is originally from Zenda, Wisconsin. Don't bother trying to find it on the globe. It is, however, south of Lake Geneva, and it has a population of 101. I grew up in a tiny little town in Wisconsin called Belgium, not the country, the town, and I won lots of bets telling people I grew up in a town smaller than they came from. But I've met my match in Nikki tonight. My hometown was 405 people, so we were a metropolis compared to Zenda. Nikki is majoring in anthropology and legal studies. While working several jobs and volunteering, Nikki carries a 3.4 grade point average. Now allow me a couple of comments on Nikki's non-academic activities. On an all too regular basis, we read and hear stories about alcohol in students. It's a problem on every college campus, but we don't hear enough about the students who are trying to do something to help their fellow students and make campuses safer. Nikki is one of these extraordinary young people. After a frightening personal experience, Nikki became an activist. She met with other campus leaders to find ways to work together to educate students about the dangers of binge drinking. She joined the campus Student Emergency Medical Service and helped establish a Red Watch program at the university. Through this program, students become CPR certified and are trained as first responders in alcohol emergencies. She became an instructor and educated and recruited other students. Now, apparently deciding she still had some spare time, Nikki also signed on as a Dane County emergency medical volunteer. This, by the way, is a full weekend commitment. She goes out on ambulance calls and assists in emergencies. Captain Newton, who I mentioned earlier, noticed Ricky's leadership potential and asked her to assume further responsibilities. And today she is the Assistant Service Director of the UW Police Department First Responders. In his letter of recommendation, Captain Newton said, Nikki has made the campus a safer place, which is a real tribute to her. Would you please welcome Nikki Schmidt?
Thank you for that. I would like to start out by thanking all the members of the Bascom Hill Society for your generous donations. Without your support of this organization, I would not have been given this opportunity. I also want to thank my professors and leaders that I work with, especially Captain Michael Newton and Irene Catelli for working with me and writing my recommendation letters. Lastly, I want to thank my friends and family for never-ending support. Excuse me. I would not be the person I am today without all of you. So just a little bit about me. I arrived at this university a little over 3 years ago as a young and naive freshman. And as you said, I come from a very small town on the Wisconsin-Illinois border. There were 11 kids in my graduating middle school class, and for a brief period of time, I was the only girl in my entire grade. So needless to say, attending a university this big was a very new experience for me. So 2 months into my freshman year, I found myself in a scary situation that I would not wish on any other 18-year-old. A good friend of mine had consumed too much alcohol on Halloween and had passed out. When I found her, she was in pretty bad shape. She was completely unresponsive. Her breathing was shallow, and she had vomited after she had passed out, so she was unable to protect her airway. I recognized right away that she needed medical attention, and I directed another friend to call for help. So I volunteer as an EMT outside of my schoolwork here, and because of that training, I've been trained to recognize emergency situations and how to respond appropriately. I realize this is not the case for many students on this campus, however. A common misconception is that students believe it's okay to let their friends sleep it off, and while in many cases things do turn out okay, there are a lot of cases when it doesn't turn out so well. So the experience I went through as a freshman propelled me to get involved in a new national program called Red Watch Band. Many of you probably haven't heard of this program before tonight because it's very new. It launched nationally for the first time in spring 2009. But I very much believe this won't be the last time you hear about it. Red Watch Band, just a little more about it, is a program that began at State University of New York, Stony Brook. A professor there had a tragic, it was unfortunate that her son had died actually from toxic drinking, and so she was propelled to start this program. The program is divided into two parts. The first part, students get certified in CPR, and in the second part, students are trained to recognize and respond to the effects of toxic drinking. So starting in the summer of 2009, I began working with other organizations and school officials to help establish this program on our campus. I also became a CPR instructor to help certify students in CPR. And last March, we had our first Red Watch Band event, and just recently in September, we had our second one. So far, we've trained over 60 students, and there are future trainings being planned. Actually, there's one next week, next Wednesday. We wanted to do another one before Halloween. So, excuse me. The Red Watch Band program has become something that I'm quite passionate and proud of. It is not the only thing I'm involved with here on campus, though, as he mentioned. I have been involved in a student org on campus called Student EMS since my freshman year, and I'm very grateful for this org because it has given me a lot of foundations for many other activities that I've done. I'm also a part of a new EMS service on campus called the UW-PD First Responders, which was born out of the Student EMS Interest Group. Aside from my extracurriculars, I hold 2 jobs on campus and work about 20 hours a week. Academically, I'm a legal studies major and taking a full schedule of classes. I have a lot on my plate, and I like to stay involved and keep myself busy. The life of a college student can be very stressful, as I'm sure many of you know, but I've learned to kind of take it day by day. One thing that I don't have to worry about, and I'm very grateful for, is my tuition. I don't think many of you even realize how helpful this scholarship is to me. I've been funding my own college education since I started here, and it's a very heavy burden lifted off my shoulders knowing that I won't have to pay back at least 1 year of student loans. So again, thank you so much to all of you and everything you do. It means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to many students on this campus. Thank you.